Hey everybody, this is Calvin Waite. I trade crypto for a living. I'm not a registered or licensed financial advisor, planner, or broker, so nothing on this channel should be taken as a recommendation to buy or sell. I also trade all of these things, so I probably have a vested interest in there. But there's plenty of entertainment value and lots of education, so this will be awesome. For those of you who didn't know, my subscription channel is live. So look at the link in the description over at cryptoinfluencers.com and you can see how I make all of my trades and what I do and what I think about everything. This channel is for more hypothetical and looking at trends, and the other one is for actual trading, so you might be interested in that. Well. The the 2-week drought is over. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Oh man, it's so good to see some faces here. Stoyan, nice to have you comment there. Namik, welcome, and Pepe Kite, nice. All right, let's get going. There is a shift that is happening right before our eyes, and it's very positive. So we have to talk about our most recent Bitcoin close. Things are about to get fun again. Things have been boring. We've had a long drawn out pullback. Really since this move here, which was the XRP news, we have just been absolutely either suppressed or definitely price has been pretty lame. We pulled back the very next day and we have not had a close this high ever since. And it has been a long time. So we are talking 24 days, 25 days, somewhere in there. We've pulled back pretty strongly, and we were following this megaphone pattern. The next move should have been to the upside, and we did not get it. We had an attempt here, and it got completely wiped out. And now we've lost the 50. So losing the 50 is not good. But there are some things happening that are positive, because every time you have a move to the upside, you have bulls in control, and then once the bulls are run out of gas, which they ran out of gas, now it's the bears' turn. Well, I'm telling you what, the bears could have dropped this like a rock if they had control, but they have been very weak. It's been slow. It's been drawn out. They have not had the strength that that we would have expected from a strong bearish move. So that tells you that that we're more bullish than bearish, and there's a lot of wicks down here, a lot of wicks. Well, yesterday's close, the thing we were watching for is we were watching to see if we would get a close higher than our prior swing high. So in order to make, so the definition of a momentum shift is when you go from having highs and lows to lower highs to lower lows to lower highs to lower lows, and you start shifting that to where you start seeing your first indication of a higher high and hopefully a higher low, and then you've got a momentum shift. And that's what we're watching for on Bitcoin. Well, our close right here, which was our most recent swing high, closed at 29,705. And so this was the price to close higher than. We have a pretty ugly wick on the top of this, but we still managed to close at 29,770. So we have a new high in the books. And now today you're thinking, we're pulling back. This is ugly. Are we just going to do this again and we're just going to flop down and do nothing? I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. So one of the indicators that I really like to watch is the 20-day moving average, or just the 20-period moving average. And here we're kind of struggling with it and definitely falling below it. Once we got above it, we popped up and did pretty well. We held it as support for a bit, and we had our final attempt to get above it, and then we fell below right here. And look how many times we've shown resistance on this 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've had four periods of resistance in the time that we fell below. And so that is 4 times in the last, well, we'll just say 25 days. So we've had on about 4 times in 25 days we have attempted to see if we could cross this 20, and we've been rejected every single time. And even with those rejections, it pushed us below the 50. Well, yesterday's close. This is the change. Yesterday's close, we have a solid close above the 20. So this is the first time since our XRP rejection that we have a solid close above the 20. So this is an indication. So not only do we have a higher high, but we also have a close above the 20. Our 9-day is slowly curving up, and in the next few days we will likely cross, and we're about to see what the bulls have to say. Nothing's guaranteed, but what I am seeing is that there's a chance. And every time there's a chance, that's when we get excited, because we have one more shot at a high probability scenario. So we are pulling back today, but you know what we're doing is we are likely coming back and finding support and confirmation on the top of our 20. So I'm expecting that our next move will be green, and we will start an actual leg to the upside. That is how I'm reading this. I know it's not great to be rejecting off of the underside of the 50, especially after exiting the green zone. So I'm not naive to think that there could be more pain, but we have given bears a shot, and bulls need a shot. If the bulls move is weak, then then there may be more pain to come. But the fact that I guess the weekly chart really shows it all, because when the weekly chart moved us up this far, and it's taken us almost 2 months to pull back just a little bit, like it's taken us 2 months and we still haven't even erased half of this week's candle. We have barely budged. We have barely budged off of this major line. This is our resistance line. Everyone's watching it. Any technical analyst that's been at this for more than 5 minutes can see this line, and it is super important. There's a lot happening. If we can just get a couple of weeks and get us back up to this line, across here will be absolutely explosive. It will be massive. So there's a lot. There's just this is not the time to be very bearish, and the daily is kind of showing that. The bears just can't get it done because there's so much pent up excitement coming in on on the weekly and other things. So it's looking good, guys. It really is. But yeah, having a solid close above the 20 is a big move. And closing higher than our most recent swing high means there's a momentum shift in the works. We're about to see what the bulls have to say. In the past, the bulls have moved this market. So once the resistance, the bears kind of let up and let the bulls give it a chance, man, things can really pop. So that is exciting. All right, let's see. We got a couple of comments. Crypto Gamer, I think the ETF will be priced in before it even gets approved. Smart money is buying now. I think there's a lot of buying that will happen before the ETF approval, but I also don't think that the ETF approval will be a sell the news event. I actually think that there are a lot of people that will be excited to put their retirements and things that they just have never been able to move into Bitcoin. I think there will be a little bit of excitement there. I bet there's some money that will flow in when that's approved. So I just don't know if it'll be a sell the news event. It would take a big market maker looking for liquidity to do that, and it would be risky because I think a lot of money will show up. Love says, good morning from Northern California. Awesome, good morning. Welcome back. If you get a moment, I'd love to hear your take on HBAR and BCH. Cool, let's look at those in a minute. And then Barbarian, welcome back. Hope you had a good time. Do you mind looking at Casper? Sure. All right, so so as far as Bitcoin, that's pretty much what I'm seeing. We're really early in the month, so there's really nothing to see on the monthly chart. But just because I wasn't here during last month's close, this full monthly candle body above the 20 is massive. So just like I'm excited about Bitcoin's daily closing above the 20, and today will probably be the confirmation candle that shows support above the 20. I think the monthly is doing the exact same thing. Like, this is really, really positive. This is a very bullish chart for the monthly. And the weekly, we just need a couple candles and we will be, I mean, this is so close. I mean, it's so, so close. It only needs a 4% move to the upside to be at our 2.5-year line. Man, it's just amazing. All right, before we get into anything smaller, let's take a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum really is sort of following the same story as Bitcoin. So there's really nothing. We still have our giant 2.5-year line. It's got different places where Bitcoin, this was support. Ethereum, this was resistance. But we have both support here, and then we both resistance here, and then we've resisted ever since. So we're still waiting. Let me just check. From where we are right now, we would have to go up 4.5%. So if Bitcoin gets it done, Ethereum's going to get it done. They're both going to happen at the same time. Daily. So we had a really nice move on the daily, but we're still below the 20. We're still resisting this line. So we're still waiting. Bitcoin's definitely falling further than Ethereum though. So I think we are about to break this. It's pretty close. So it was nice of the market to be really boring and flat and lame and not do anything crazy while I was gone, because I was seriously gone for about 2.5 weeks in the market. I mean, I came back to almost the exact same market. It's funny how that works. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we can go ahead and look at some of these other coins. Let's try HBAR, since two of you now have requested that. Let's take a look. HBAR is a coin that I am long. Oh, you know what? There's one last thing I wanted to talk to about Bitcoin. Let me go to the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart is doing the pattern that we love to see. When we exit this red zone, so on the pro channel I mentioned, hey, we are exiting the red zone on the 4-hour. We have one more shot at this. We had an attempt here, full rejection off the 200, and then slipped back down and just completely went back into a red zone. Really crazy how that happened. And we were down here for a week, and then finally we had another attempt. So huge. I also called this out on the pro channel. We have a major bullish engulfing candle on the 4-hour, and the next candle exited the red zone. So this is quite a combination. And then here we are. Here's our couple of candles that showed confirmation of support on the top of our 50. And we've been going up ever since. So this one rejected off the 200. This one made it through. And then we've been, struggling with finding support on top of it. But in the meantime, we've been up here long enough that our 50 has crossed the 100. So now we're looking for support off the 50. Hopefully we can last a little bit longer. I hate to completely reverse all the way back down in one day. But if we can get a couple candles and go sideways and allow this 50 to come up a bit and then tag it, then we're looking for a future golden cross. And that would be pretty delicious on our chart. We had our 4-hour death cross at a price of about 30,000, just a little less, right here. And when we get our golden cross in here, it could mean a lot. In the past, leading up to golden crosses, or the moves causing the golden crosses, have really moved us far. So anyway, so there's some cool stuff. All right, now let's go ahead and look at HBAR, Hedera. So I'm long on the daily on Hedera, hash graph. This guy, we did struggle with the red zone here, and we finally exited it on July 13th. And this is the pattern we love to see. We hit the 100 and then kind of pulled back a little bit. We didn't go all the way back down to the 50, so that's positive. And then we made it all the way up to the 200, The next stop is usually back to the 100, and then we found plenty of support on the 100, and now we're attempting an exit up to break through to the other side of the 200. So this is very bullish. This is a very bullish market right here. So today we're looking like we're about to find support on the top of the 200. What's unusual about our chart is that our 200 is super flat. That means we've oscillated pretty consistently around this 200. Big move down, big move up. So they've kind of neutralized each other around that 200. Little move up, little move down. Our 200 is absolutely flat. So it will dip down a little bit because our 200th day is back here. And some of these higher ones are going to actually start melting off, and it'll start trending down a little bit, which only makes it easier to cross. And with the 50 coming up, this will be a golden cross probably in the next month or so. I'd say 2 or 3 weeks we'll probably see a golden cross. By then price action will be much higher, I'm expecting. So I'm pretty bullish on H-bar. Let's take a look at, let's see the other one that you were asking for, BCH. So BCH is another one that, this one I've been very stubborn with, because if you look at this move, we have exited from green to yellow, which is usually the time to sell. And we most recently are rejecting off the underside of the daily. So that's not pretty. So like all of my normal technical rules are kind of in play on, on BCH. But I just cannot ignore the beauty of this bull flag. I mean, it is unmistakable. I know there's a chance that it could melt down, but I'm still long on BCH because the bears cannot get it done. This is the same situation with Bitcoin. Strong move for the bulls, weak, long, drawn out, death by 1,000 cuts pullback by the bears. I just don't feel like if they tried for an entire month to pull it only back this far, I just don't see how suddenly they're going to get the strength to just drop it completely to the bottom. So that's why I'm still long here. But look at this bull flag. I mean, it is pretty copy, paste. I mean, this thing is pretty awesome. This is about as textbook as it gets as far as the bull flag goes. Normally, it's the measurement from the bottom of the flag to the top of the pole. That is $195. It's almost $200. So wherever we break out is likely the target would be $200 above the breakout point. So we could break out at any point. We really could. And the day 50 on our 50 day is right here. So in a week, the 50 will be completely flat. There won't be any catch up to catch above this 50. It'd be pretty easy to cross it, find support, and do another pull. So I'm patient with BCH. I think that there's probably more here. Some people don't remember. It was not that long ago. Look at BCH back. This is only May of 2021. It was about $1,500, and we were trading at a price of 200. I mean, if an old dinosaur like BCH can move from 100 or 200 or 400 and make it all the way up to 1,500, man, there's definitely some interest still here in BCH, and I'm pretty much holding on to this one, and I'm gonna let the market go for another run. This is a pretty small break. And something, it may not be that we get, super crazy, and it might take until the a little bit further into the Bitcoin's bull cycle to get there, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of upside coming up. So there's my thoughts on those two. Casper, really quick, I decided to leave it on my thing because I know you've asked about it before. Still pulling back on the weekly, struggling with the 50. The 9's crossing down on the 20. So there's a couple things that it's just not quite there yet. if it could hold the 50, then that would make a big difference. But it might need a little bit more time for our 100 to come down. Once the 100 comes down a little bit closer to the 50, I think we might have the consolidation we need. But I mean, there is a case. There is a case for this. Let's see if I can find it. There may be a inverse head and shoulders right here. Take your pick which bottom you want to point to. But this won't be valid until we break the neckline, which means we'll have been well supported by the 50. So it's almost like it'd be hard to enter this until you get to about 4 cents. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm seeing there. Nothing earth-shattering quite yet on that one. All right, let's see. Crypto gamers wanting to see QNT. I don't think that's one I follow. Whoops. Carrying on. I am pushing buttons here. Okay, QNT. I'll just use Binance and we'll see what that looks like. Okay, so QNT looks like it's come down a long ways. About $400 in the past. It's $100 now, which means that it has plenty of upside. We had an exit of the green zone right here, and we kind of haven't looked back. So the positive thing that I'm seeing is that we have a falling wedge going on. And in fact, there's a case that we might be struggling to break it. This might be a little hard to put on here. Yeah, this might be it actually. This could be our line. And then this one might be a little harder to see. It might be here. Yeah, I think this might be our falling wedge. So falling wedge usually breaks to the upside. We had a fake breakout here, and then we are struggling to find support on the top of the falling wedge. So this might have enough consolidation that we're very close. You can see how we entered a red zone, and then it went white, red, white, red, white, red, white, red, yellow. So when yellow shows up in the red bands, that means you're pretty sideways. That means you're pretty sideways. So this has done a pretty good job of consolidating, but our most recent attempt at breaking out failed. But you can only consolidate for so long before you start moving. So I'd be really interested in potentially a position if we could get above this 50 at about $104 and find it as support. So if we could break above it and show some candles of support on the other side of this, then we'd be on our way. Full confirmation won't be until we break the new high, because we need that momentum shift. We need new highs and a higher low. And that would be at $111, because we now have a triple top right here. So this is a full sideways range. And if we could get above that, come back and find it as support, or at least find a higher high than this range down here, we'd be in good shape. You can tell that there's a time ticker on this. Like, it's probably a pretty safe trade at this point. So anyway, yeah, if I was trading this, I wouldn't be afraid to get in with a small position. AJ, welcome back, Calvin. 2 things. When are you expecting alt season hit? And did you send out $25 to the live address as you mentioned before vacation? Well, so I kind of had to give up a little bit on the $25 just because I just haven't been around. I'd love to do some more kind of motivational incentives, but I've kind of put everything on pause just because it was a little bit too cumbersome and I was just gone. So let's see, when am I expecting alt season to hit? Let's take a look. So here's total market cap. Total market cap is working on a pullback, struggling with the 20, rejecting off the 50. So I mean, there's generally some things that are a little bit weaker on the total market, but if you take out Bitcoin and Ethereum, we may have the pullback that we've been waiting for. So it's this resistance that is finding support here, and This is quite a bull flag. Bull flags kind of melts down if you fully reach the bottom of the pole though. So I don't know if that's quite anything to go off of, but yeah, I mean, we exited the red zone right here. And exiting the red zone is usually the start of an alt season. I believe that it was 2 days later that the XRP thing exploded, and that's what this was for the alts. And they've kind of given back their gains. So there's really, it just feels like we are putting in higher lows, including this one. But we need to recapture this area, or else our alt season's a little bit questionable. So I'm hoping we see something. Honestly, I think if Bitcoin and Ethereum can move and pull this up, I think it'll be a cascading event. It's kind of the way I think about it. The others kind of got messed up because we have these huge gaps. I don't know what TradingView was doing. We've got these gaps that makes this almost unreadable. So, I mean, technically we're coming up on a golden cross, which means an alt season could happen. But the way we've jumped from here to here and back and forth, it's hard to know where the real action is, because if this gap wasn't here, does that put this entire section all the way down here, which would be below all of our resistance? Hard to read a chart that you don't know if you're trusting the data. So yeah, I guess our best indication would be the Bitcoin and Ethereum chart. And this really does agree with the other charts. It's like it could happen, but we're not quite there. We had a beautiful exit of the red zone right here. And this was the day that XRP did its thing. But now look, we're back in the red, white, we're just not quite there. And so we kind of need to get above this 50 and find it as support. It's going to be easier to be above the 50 though, because all of these highs have melted off. So our downward slope has reduced, and we're probably going to go sideways for a little bit. So we might be getting close, but we need proof. So it's too hard to speculate at this point. Going back to 28K week. I don't know if we are. I just don't think we are. I think now that we've crossed the 20 and we're printing a full candle above the 20, I don't think we're going back to 2800. I think if that happened, it would be after a bull impulse that was weak, and then bears had their new chance and they dropped it. So that's kind of the only way we'll get there. I don't see us just waking up tomorrow morning and we're down here, unless a total, like some wacko, black swan event happens. Same action as last time. We dumped from 30 to 27,500. Yeah, I mean, I would have believed you if we had not crossed the 20. Definitely going from the green zone to the yellow zone is bearish. So that would have been our big chance. Our 100 is here. And I kind of feel like our 100 is support, because every time we've reached to even the vicinity, we've touched it like a hot stove and pulled back up. And none of our candle bodies want to close with price action that low. So I don't know. I think this is our momentum shift. You might have to go back and see my reasoning at the beginning of the video. Let's see. AJ Jasmy. We'll take a look at Jasmy, and then we'll be about there. Yep, Jasmy's just not quite there yet. I love the selling climax right here. This selling climax really gives investors a lot of confidence. When you see something this strong that reverses this powerfully, it tells you that it is not likely that we will lose this point, or at least we have a lot of time to figure it out before we get down to here. And we've done exactly what Bitcoin has been doing, just a slow pullback. The only problem is that we've never really exited above the 50. So we need to get above it and have support before I'd have much trust in this guy. But it could happen. It could happen. We just need a little bit more time. I'm seeing a little bit of a rounding of the bottom. See how these lows are dropping pretty significantly, but then this low was almost flat. So we went from lower lows to double bottom. So we might be wrapping it up. There's a lot of indication that this is going to turn, but there's no confirmation. So there's no confirmation. You don't want to jump into prematurely. Okay, that's pretty much our market. I am loving this thing. I know it's a red day. I know we're pulling back, but I do not think we're going to lose the 20. And the 20 is like 29,400. And man, if we get a full candle above the 20, we really could see our momentum shift. Should be very, very pretty. Michael, hi Calvin, good to have you back. Can't wait for alts to run. I know, me too. We have been in a holding pattern for like 2 months. Ever since this big impulse, we have been kind of whipsawed and then slow, slow, slow. And this is what drives traders nuts. If you're a newbie trader, you start making mistakes because you're impatient. You're like, maybe I should go short because I'd rather win, every day for 2 months than, just watch my portfolio slowly bleed little by little. But I'm here to say there's so much bullishness in this. Even if we did this for 3 months, I'm totally comfortable with it because it just shows how weak the bears are. And when the bulls are in control, they launch the price. I mean, this move was huge. When we went from candle body to candle body, 22%. We've pulled back 4 or 5%. I mean, that is nothing. Bitcoin could sneeze and make back that 4 and 5%. And the people that are going short and getting impatient, they're the ones that are going to get wrecked. They're making mistakes by trying to preempt the market as if it's going down. I'm seeing a market that's curving back up. Like this feels like a momentum shift, and all of the little tiny losses can be made up in like an afternoon. So I'm just waiting patiently, just totally waiting. It shouldn't be long. But yeah, it's nice to be back. I think my kids start school a week from today. I will have a quiet house and I can organize my life. It's going to be so nice. So hopefully I can get back and figure out a good strategy on how to be a little bit more regular and talk about things. But it's nice to have everybody here, and it's nice to see some old faces. So that's awesome. But yeah, we'll leave you here. Appreciate you guys. We will catch you on the next one. And in the meantime, be patient, keep those trades small, really look at the long-term trends rather than these little short-term day-to-day things. I think there's a lot of stuff about to happen. Yeah, so anyway, we're all just waiting. Okay, have a good one. Thanks for making it to the end of my video. Make sure you keep those trades small. Don't force a trade. Don't get impatient. And if you want to see how all this works, please come over and check me out on the subscription channel at cryptoinfluencers.com. Again, the link is in the description.